A mental illness crisis. That's what this TikTok or this Instagram video says. It depicts a man wearing a dog mask, eating French toast while whimpering and making strange noises. Libs of TikTok tweets, "We have a serious mental health crisis in this country." My friends, that is only technically correct. But of course, that is the best kind of correct. I'm going to play this video for you, which will disturb and offend many of you. But I want to talk to you about the current state of this country and what this is and why it is. And I believe for many of you, you may say, I knew that already. And some of you may say, interesting and very enlightening, Mr. Poole. I did not consider these things. Let me play for you this video of the man in the dog mask, which is also purple and blue. That's him wiggling his fists and going woo, 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 and poking the French toast for no reason. And then going, yeah, just making weird noises. And then trying to eat the French toast through what appears to be some kind of, I don't know, is that faux swing? Yes, dog play or something, I believe this is called. Yeah, there they go, marking. I believe it appears to be a male doing this. Now you may ask yourself, how is this happening? Wall Street Silver with the original tweet says, "What would you do if your kids started behaving like this?" I can explain to you exactly what's going on. And I can welcome you, my friends, into reality. This is reality. You can call it mental illness. You can call it whatever you want, but this is the nature of humanity. It really is. And I know many of you may be saying, Tim, this is not normal. This is mental illness. No, I reject that. But let me not mince words and build the suspense any longer. Let me explain. My friends, today we live in a sphere, a bubble of safety that has removed us from evolution. Not literally, not absolutely, but in a certain way. I was talking on the Culture War podcast last week, and we were discussing whether or not women wanted to have children. The woman on the show, Kristen Lacefield, said that if women had the opportunity for birth control, way back in the day, they'd have used it. I disagree. I said that's not true. Birth control would not have existed. Now, of course, there are certainly, stories of women who induced abortions in some ways or had means of preventing unwanted pregnancies. But for the most part, women wanted to have kids and did. And it's really simple why they did. If there were women who did not have kids, they simply ceased to exist. That's it. And so what was society? It was composed of those who survived and nothing more, nothing less. As technology advanced and we became more secure and safer, society evolved along with it. Let's start at the beginning. Traditional gender roles. How do those emerge? It's actually quite simple. If you have 100 men and 100 women in a tribe and 99 women die, your society ends. Because, 100 men might be efficient. They can build things, they can fight. But with no women, there's no more humans. So what happens? Men keep the women safe in their camp around the tribe. Some men stay to defend them because each and one of these men could die. If 99 men die and you have 1 man and 99 women, your society still has a very good chance of survival. Women can hunt, women can build, and all of these women can have kids. That 1 man may get very busy, but there will be many children in 9 months, and there's a chance at survival. Not that it's absolute. It's still a huge risk having only 1 guy. But for the most part, with evolution, women are substantially more valuable because you need them to make more people. So what ends up happening is that in the early days of humanity, the tribes this is evolutionary psychology and biology. Human tribes that would bring women on the hunt were less likely to flourish because those women were more likely to die. Now, women weren't always dying, but it's simple math. If there are 2 tribes, one tribe brings women on the hunt and one tribe doesn't. If there's even a 1% chance that the women hunting result in injury, death, or miscarriage or something, that creates a slower process of advancement than those who do not do that. That's how evolution works. So what ends up happening is the human tribes that survive and expand rapidly and win are those that keep the women safe. Naturally, this evolves as society develops into jobs and currency, in which case men are the one who go out and work and women take care of the families, as it had been for a long time. Where are we today, and how does this relate to a man wearing a dog mask, whimpering and horting as he eats his waffles? His French toast, not waffles. And there's no H in waffle anyway. I just wanted to say that. Look, there is no longer an evolutionary pressure. If this man existed 300 years ago, he'd probably just die. He would starve. He would get killed by a bear or something like this. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying people who have, let's just call it neurodivergent mental practices or ideologies, wouldn't survive. Karl Marx would not survive. The ideas of communism can only exist in a post-industrial world. And they make these arguments too. With the Industrial Revolution, we are now at this point where people can survive. And if they can survive, ideas that normally would die off persist. So here we are. This man with the weird dog mask whimpering would not exist were it not for the safety and security of legislation, police forces, the Constitution, etc. Now, many of these communists want to do away with all that. There are many people who advocate we should go back from whence we came and live among the dirt. Well, there are certainly advantages to that. Imagine this world where you have all of these people who believe far leftist things. They don't want to work. They want healthcare. Healthcare is a human right, they say. It's like, okay, what would happen if the power went out? These people would be the first ones to die. They wouldn't be able to survive. They don't want to work, so they don't. And what would happen? Go back 1,000 years. Take two groups of people. One group that wants to work 24/7 and one group that doesn't want to work at all. And what do you get? Come winter, one group simply ceases to exist. Now, you can argue that there were groups that didn't want to work, so they would fight and they would steal and they would pillage. Sure, that's still kind of work, right? And you can argue that these leftists, these anti-types, are willing to smash things and destroy things to steal what they want. But take a look at modern conservatives, okay? You take your average group of people who are hard workers, and they're going to defend themselves. They're going to believe in individual rights, weapons, etc., and they will not be easy prey. It is the old story of the ants and the grasshopper. So my point, my friends, the far leftist ideologies that we see could not exist in nature. You take this dog whimpering guy and you put him in the middle of the woods and you see how long he lasts. He wouldn't. But you take your average conservative country folk guy and put him in the woods and he goes, must be back home because it looks exactly like my home. You know, it's funny. You come out to West Virginia, even Western Maryland and parts of Virginia. You got people raising alpacas and everyone's got chickens. And so what happens? It's fascinating. That viral video of that woman being like, I had lemons in my fridge and I didn't know that I could eat lemons off my tree. And my friend was like, why are you buying lemons when you can eat lemons off your tree? And she's like, you can just eat fruit? Imagine that person being dropped in the middle of the woods. I don't know what to do. There's bugs, eat those. There's fruit, eat that. Do you know you can eat leaves? Yeah, okay, listen. I am no outdoorsman. I'm just some dude who lives in a, kind of rural place, bunch of farms all around. I got chickens, and I'm learning. And here's what I learned. You can eat leaves off of trees. What? Yeah, you can. There's things you got to do beforehand. But, I noticed the deer were coming by. It's really great. There's a tree line where at a certain height, maybe about 4.5 feet, all the leaves are gone evenly among all the trees. And it's really obvious why when you walk past it. Because the deer eat the leaves off the trees up to a certain height. And so they shave the trees. It's fascinating. They don't stand up or anything out here. And they eat the fruit as well. So the fruit at a certain height is typically left alone as it falls off and the deer eat them. They ate all my apples. The deer came and started eating all my apples. But it's fine. It's fine. We like the deer. They're food too. So they can eat the apples. And if I ever need to, I can eat them. But so I noticed the deer eating the leaves. And I thought, I wonder how the deer know which leaves to eat. And I wonder if it's nutritionally dense enough. Because we had a period where there were too many deer and they were starving. And it's because they were eating everything. So I read that what you do is you take a leaf off a tree rip it in half, and rub it on your skin. And then you wait. Nothing happens. You take another leaf, you rip it, and you rub it on the side of your lip. And if nothing happens, you take a leaf, you rip it, and you chew on it. Then you spit it out and you wait. And if nothing happens, congratulations, you found a leaf you can eat. I do not recommend eating leaves. And this is just something I read on the internet, so I could be wrong. Consult a nutritionist or a doctor before eating leaves. But that is the basics of survival. If you're trying to find food and you're desperate, you can eat certain leaves. We eat lettuce and spinach. We eat stuff all the time. We just cultivate that stuff so we know. It's fascinating that there are human beings who do not know you could even eat fruit off of trees. Yeah. We have persimmons out here. You can't eat those. Yeah, don't eat. I guess it's funny because we have persimmons and there are people who are like, you can buy them in the store and eat them. But if you look it up, they can cause like intestinal blockage and be really, really bad for you. There are fruits you can't eat. And it's hard to know which ones. Through thousands and thousands of years, humans have developed enough knowledge to know which ones not to eat. I'd like to say thank you to all the people who ate mushrooms and died for passing on the knowledge so that I can enjoy mushrooms on my pizza. Because you don't know which ones are food and which ones will kill you unless someone tries. That's a sad reality. So where we are today is we are standing on the shoulders of giants. And those giants have paved the way and secured the world all around us. And thus, individuals like this can freely go to IHOP and whimper and make strange noises and behave in ways that would probably get them killed in the wild. But we protect them. We protect them. And then they vote. And where do you think that leads us? It's almost like it's a natural process. Evolution is perfect. As you get a buildup of certain functions, beliefs, practices among individuals who cannot survive in the wild, they drag down your society and eventually causes a break where the system shatters and then only the strong survive. It's almost like evolution just naturally has a mechanism by which the system purges itself. Fascinating, to say the least. Well, I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.